Hello, it's me, Canoopsy, and welcome back to the phone battles. Since last episode I've added one more round, which is battery life and charging, just to make it more interesting and to provide you with more information. So, let's check it out. In the phone battles, two phones face off against each other in 6 epic rounds. Each round is worth 5 points for a total of a possible 30 points. Today's battle is between the Samsung Galaxy S7 and the LG G5. Round 1. The design. Both of these phones look great. The Galaxy S7 is similar looking to the S6, but features changes like being a bit more curvy at the edges, including a microSD card slot, water resistance, and a recessed camera. While the G5 is a massive departure from its predecessor, it now packs a super sleek build. The phone has a unibody construction, chamfered edges, still an IR blaster, still a microSD card slot, and is thin at 7.7mm. At the back, the phone has a rear-facing ultra-fast fingerprint scanner that's about the same speed as the S7 and works as soon as you put your finger on it. The phone also has a dual camera system that looks like it protrudes a lot, but it actually doesn't. This phone also has the unique feature of modularity. You can actually remove the bottom to swap out batteries, add a camera grip, or hi-fi sound. The modules are great additions, but you do have to pay extra, and sadly, the selection is very limited. The G5's design may not be for everyone, but I think it's a fresh design from previous LG smartphones while still keeping many of the features that made older LG smartphones great. Both of these phones are sleek, feel great in the hand, and stand out from the crowd. I give the Galaxy S7 a 4 out of 5, while the G5 also gets a 4 out of 5. Round 2. The display. The Galaxy S7 uses a 5.1-inch Super AMOLED display which is 2560 by 1440 with 577 pixels per inch. Basically, it's beautiful. Colors are vibrant, text is as crisp as can be, and blacks are deep and contrasty. It's incredibly hard to beat a Samsung display. The S7 also features an always-on display which can show things like a simple image or the time, while the G5 has a larger 5.3-inch 2560 by 1440 LCD display with 544 pixels per inch. The display is awesome overall. Colors are vibrant, viewing angles are excellent, and blacks are great for an LCD panel. This phone also has an always-on display, but it's very dim compared to the S7 and can only display a signature or the time. This display does the job really well, but compared to the S7, it's very clear to see which one is the winner. The blacks, contrast, colors, and brightness are far superior on the S7. While the display of the G5 is definitely more accurate, the display of the S7 makes everyday viewing great. The S7 receives a 5 out of 5, while the G5 receives a 4 out of 5. Round 3. Specs and performance. It's 2016, and all flagship smartphones are fast, and both the S7 and G5 are some of the best of the best. With either phone you choose, daily performance will be a breeze. They also have very similar specifications. Both have a Snapdragon 820 processor, but in some regions the S7 has an Exynos 8890 processor. Both have 4GB of RAM, and both have an Adreno 530 GPU, although in some regions, once again, the GPU will be different for the S7. Either phone offers an excellent experience, so no matter which one you choose, it'll be fast, hopefully, for years to come. The S7 gets a 5, while the G5 also gets a 5. Round 4. Batteries and charging. The S7 improved a lot from the S6 for battery life, now with a size of 3000 mAh, but also a lot of software optimization. I've been able to consistently get a day with a few more hours of usage, also with excellent standby. While the G5 has a smaller 2800 mAh battery and lasts but a day and a few more hours the next day too, depending on usage. It all gets very interesting when it comes to charging. The S7 has wireless charging, fast wireless charging, and fast wired charging, which helps you quickly power up your phone. And the G5 has fast charging through USB-C, but no form of wireless charging. What the G5 does have, though, is replaceable battery functionality. Pull off the bottom, pop a new battery in, and that's it. It works great, but keep in mind, you'll have to buy more batteries. But then again, you need to get a wireless charger for your S7, so it kinda evens itself out. You don't have to stop and charge your phone with the G5, but you get plenty of universal methods with the S7, so I give both a 4 for battery. Round 5. The software. Out of all the manufacturers for phones, Samsung and LG have been the most criticized for their software. But in 2016, where both phones were on Android 6.0, it shows the biggest improvement for both. The S7 has a much more toned down software experience with better looking icons, tasteful colors, and really not too much bloatware. There's even some useful stuff like multitasking and features to enhance gaming. But the G5 software is a bit of a mixed bag. It's been toned down a lot and performs very fluidly on the G5. But LG also took away things that both LG fans and Android fans will miss. First, they removed the app drawer, making it much more like iOS. You can add it back through LG's own LG Home Launcher or from a third-party launcher, but it's some extra work. LG also took away multitasking and hid other features that some may want. What LG didn't take away was the bloatware. There's just so many apps that you'll probably never use, but fortunately you can hide them. Samsung gets a 4 for software. It's much improved from previous phones and it's almost perfect. And the G5 gets a 3 for software. It's way better than previous phones, but needs to cut the bloatware apps and add back multitasking and at least a setting for the app drawer. Round 6. Cameras. The S7's cameras are fantastic. The 5 megapixel selfie camera is great, and the 12 megapixel rear camera with an f1.7 aperture takes superb, bright photos and beautiful video with quick autofocus. The G5's 8 megapixel selfie camera is superior to the S7's, and now let's talk about those back cameras. The main camera is 16 megapixels with an f1.8 aperture, and the second camera is 8 megapixels with an f2.4 aperture and is wide angle. The 16 megapixel camera takes far superior overall crisp shots and is much better in low light than the 8 megapixel camera. But the 8 megapixel camera offers you a super wide angle shot, great for large scenes and zooming out more than almost every other smartphone. But keep in mind, you do get a slight fisheye effect for some shots. Video on the G5 is pretty great too and very comparable for autofocus to the S7. In a head-to-head comparison with the main cameras, shots are very comparable, but shots on the S7 are usually slightly brighter and slightly more colorful. It's very tough to score these phones for their cameras. Both cameras are outstanding, but also have their own tiny faults here and there too. For their overall photo taking and video recording capabilities, they both receive 4.5. They're both nearly perfect camera experiences but need a small amount of tweaking, which may be possible with a software update. To conclude, the S7 scores 26.5 out of 30, while the G5 scores 24.5 out of 30. Incredibly close scores, and I'd even say that they're pretty much tied overall. No matter which phone you choose, you'll be impressed. Both have great designs, screens, cameras, and features. The only improvement I'd make to the G5 would be to fix the software, get rid of the bloat, add a few features back, and that's it. Perfect. Which phone do you prefer? Comment down below with your thoughts. Like the video if you liked it, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. The reason why I get my hair cut so short is because it feels amazing. Brush past all this wind, you run down the streets in the summer, excellent gust of wind coming at you. My microphone's probably picking this up too. Gusts of wind, feels great.